Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It took me a minute there to realize I was live. So, welcome to our Wednesday live. We're here every Wednesday evening. And the reason you might want to join us is we're here talking about all things longevity. We're talking about all things truth seeker. And tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about my book that I wrote. Hard to believe. I keep saying it was 2 years ago. It's been more than 5 years now. And in that time, I'm realizing a lot has been upgraded and updated. So we'll be talking about that tonight as well. So welcome, everyone. Yes, okay, let me get started here. So first of all, the book, if you haven't seen it, it is available on Amazon. Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. So this outlines a system that I use with my clients. I use here. We calibrate everything. This is how you know what's true and what's not true. And in this book, because it is a living, breathing system, what I've discovered, I've been editing it or revising it for the last week because I've been wanting to update it. And I was really surprised at how much has changed over the last 5.5 years of having written this book in 2020. So there's a few things that I'm going to mention tonight. And I also want to walk you through one of the most important parts of the whole program, or the whole process, which is getting ultra grounded. Now, everybody knows that we need to be grounded. You hear about it all the time. But do you have a way of knowing if you actually are grounded? And more importantly, do you have an effective way of making sure or getting grounded? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, when I first wrote this book, we talked about the different layers to the aura, and I was surprised that the book only goes to the 40th layer. It only goes to the 40th layer. And since then, we have extended out to the 100th layer, which is where artificial intelligence hangs out. And then it breaks through to infinity. So now we have all of these layers to our aura that can be cleared. And one of the most fascinating things I remember discovering as we started expanding out into these outer layers is you hear a lot about the idea that we're all one and this idea of oneness. But it wasn't until I cleared some of these outer layers that I actually started to experience that. I started to feel what that felt like being connected to everyone. So that's one thing that happens in these outer layers. Now, in my book, all of this is outlined in more detail, but we're just going to go over a couple things tonight. The other thing that changed and expanded was our creative rings. Now, in the book, I think it only went to the 50th ring. So the creative rings are these rings that you have. This is all part of your invisible energetic architecture. So above your head, you have these creative rings. They look like big gold wedding bands that are stacked above your head with space in between and hovering above your head. And it's in these creative rings where we place our dreams, our desires, our goals, our intentions. And this is part of our creative process. And we, as the end of that book, when I first finished writing the book, we were up to 50 rings. Well, since then, we have broken through up to 100 rings before it breaks through to infinity. So that means infinite possibilities. Now, some people, think more is better. Well, in this case, that may or may not be the case, because what the rings do is they amplify everything. They amplify your creations. They make them bigger. They make you create faster, more intensely. And so that could be a good thing, or it could be not such a good thing if you have a lot of dense, dark, heavy energies in your energy field, because the rings, they don't care what it amplifies. It's just going to make everything bigger. And on the other hand, that can make it easier to find the things that are off, that are out of alignment. So that's the pros and cons of having more rings. However, the more rings you have, the faster and more intensely and bigger you create. So most people are wanting to create things faster, like show me the money. And so this is an integral part of creating more money, wealth, prosperity. We just finished our 12-day program all about that, and it was amazing. People won things. They got more clients. They had a lot more ease in their body. There's a whole list. It felt lighter, more energy. One person had reduced tinnitus. They felt calmer, sleeping better. Pain was relieved. They weren't so tired anymore. And so this is what happens when you are consistent. So we spent 12 days practicing on how to do the process outlined in this book, the process of running your energy. So when you're keeping your energy field clear, then your world is going to manifest that reality where your life runs clearer and cleaner and smoother. So that's the benefit, the whole benefit of this infinity system. Another thing that happened was we added a new component, bringing in the oversoul. So there's 4 parts. Yeah, there's 4 core parts to the system. There's getting ultra grounded, which now has 5 parts. There's getting ultra grounded. There is the connection to the oversoul, which is new. There's the central orbit that's bringing pure source energy down the backside and up the front, and then clearing the aura. And so those are the four main parts of the system. And then within that grounding, which is the most important part, there's a couple parts that were added mostly related to the heart. So the five parts are: one, establishing a very solid grounding cord that goes from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the earth. This is your plumbing pipe. Otherwise, you're like a house without plumbing, and everything backs up. You don't feel comfortable. You leave your body, and then nobody's home to know what's going on. Meanwhile, inflammation is taking over, and then down the road, it keeps getting bigger and bigger until inflammation just kicks the door in, and maybe you end up in the hospital or some other thing like that. So, the importance of getting ultra grounded is number one, a really good, effective grounding cord. I'm going to go over a few things that are going to interfere with that in a minute. The second thing is we want to collapse our worry circle. So, the worry circle is this energy that goes around our root chakra, and it's like a big circle that's holding all of your worry, stress, anxiety, doubts, fears, uncertainty, anger, all in the circle. And that root chakra is such a foundational chakra. It establishes the foundation for everything above it. So this is why they, the dark side, they're notorious for focusing on your root chakra, because they know if they can disable that or affect that, it affects everything else. So that good grounding, super essential, grounding cord. Second part, okay, is so I jumped, okay, I jumped to the worry circle. Okay, first part, grounding cord. Second part, roots going down from your feet deep into the earth. Now, I may not have said this before, but the reptilians live below the surface of the earth, about 3 or 4 miles down. And so when we send our roots down, we're going past all that. And we trust that we have enough intelligence without even knowing what we're doing consciously, that we know how to avoid all those pockets of energy. And so when we're sending our roots deep, deep, deep into the earth and wrapping around the entire planet, then we're able to connect to the abundance of our feminine Mother Earth, all of the rich resources like really powerful iron and the crystalline grid, the light grid that is also part of the underlying root system. And that root system, I don't know if you ever saw there was, I think it was a Netflix series on, or a special on the incredible fungi. I think that's what it was, fungi. But it was talking about the network of the whole root system and how all the trees talk to each other through this incredibly intelligent network of roots. So these roots are responsible for converting decay into life. So that's another energy that we're tapping into when we put those roots deep down into the earth and then wrap around the entire earth. Then when we bring that energy up through the legs, this really helps us feel anchored and solid on our planet. So that's two. Then the third one was the worry circle. I just talked about that. Number 4 is opening the heart chakra and grounding it. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the heart is not grounded. We're not going to go into that tonight, but a lot of people do not have a grounded heart, and their heart is closed. So it's very hard for them to be compassionate, empathetic, whether it's towards others or even to themselves, being really unkind to themselves and not really taking care of themselves. So this heart component has 3 parts. So opening it 100%, grounding it, and then we want to make sure that the flow coming out of that heart is 100%. So it comes from the heart where we self-generate love, and we bring that self-generated love out the right arm where we bring all that energy out into the world. And then we connect our fingers like this, like you're holding a small ball. That allows the energy to flow into your left receiving hand. Now, this hand is blocked on a lot of people. and then they wonder why they're not receiving love from their partner, or they give so much and nothing's coming back. Well, it's not their fault. It's your blocked left hand. So this is a really important another part that often gets blocked, that needs to stay open. So this is the circle of reciprocity, where it goes out the right arm, in the left. A really important component in energy if you want to receive. So most people, especially women, are great givers, but most people have a hard time receiving, and that happens in this left receiving hand. So another really important component. And then the fifth and final part to getting ultra grounded is the women need to ground their ovaries. So the ovaries, a lot of women absorb other people's energy into their ovaries as a way of trying to heal them. And this can create a lot of problems. So the women will ground their ovaries, and then the men will do the same thing, drawing that letter Y from the prostate and testicles down into that grounding cord. So those are the 5 parts to getting ultra grounded. So 1, the grounding cord; 2, the feet roots; 3 is your collapsing the worry circle; 4 is the heart needs to be open, grounded, and flowing through the circle of reciprocity. And then the 5th part is either grounding the ovaries or prostate and testicles, depending if you're a man or a woman. So that is all the basic updates I wanted to share about my book, but it was just fascinating how much has changed over the last 5 years, and it's going to continue to grow and evolve. And there's another part that I wanted to share about some energies that are shifting. And this has to do, I have talked about it, I think, in the last few videos, but we've been talking about finding black boxes as part of the energetic structure that is blocking and keeping us in lockdown. Now, these, when I first discovered these black boxes, I originally thought that they were a control mechanism that kept getting put on us and put on us and put on us. And what I've realized over time is that really this is just part of the architecture of control. And that these black boxes are really, in fact, I'm starting to change my wording on it. Instead of calling it black boxes, calling it programs, because that's what it really is. These are deep programs. And it's interesting that we'll find clusters of 50 or 500 or 5. So this is how you know it's a program. It's always very consistent. So these black boxes are the thoughts that keep us creating our reality. So there's a very important principle that states that what we think about the most often, with the greatest emotional intensity, for the longest duration, this is how we create our world, how we create our reality. When we send those frequencies out, like frequencies attract and coalesce, and this is what creates reality. So that's how the quantum field works. So these black boxes are the newest. So for a while, it was those AI chords in our root chakra, and now these black boxes or programs or black programs. I haven't sure what I'm going to land on as far as what we're going to call it, but it's in transition right now. However, these are the thoughts and beliefs that have been programmed into our, it's like software, into our energetic anatomy. And this is what's been controlling us. And so now they also have, that the technology with 5G and all the nanoparticles in the air and everything that they've been spraying, these all interact with our wireless technology. We are wireless technology just by virtue of having an aura. Our aura is our electromagnetic field. And so this field is what intercepts a lot of these thoughts and beliefs and programs and frequencies that create chaos, that create depression, that create all kinds of things, aging. It's fascinating when we are working with the physiology to see how many of these black boxes are interfering with really simple things like even getting grounded, but even things like the functioning of our pineal gland or our adrenal glands, black boxes, black boxes. So it's also notorious now for interrupting people's grounding cord. So as we're checking tonight, when you're asking your live questions, it's also helpful if you put a first name so that, because your handles can be deceiving. um, and sometimes people use other people's platforms, and so it's just a cleaner way if I have a first name. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, and then let's see what else. Let me get a drink of water, and then you guys can enter your questions. Take a breather. That was a lot of explain and all right, let's see who's here. Let's see what we've got. Okay, I just also want to make sure I talked about everything. Oh, here's one more thing I want to talk about before we entertain questions. So part of the reason that I'm revising this whole book is I've been wanting to do an audiobook forever. Like ever since I wrote the book. It's like, oh, that'd be really cool. But I just couldn't, I started and then I just couldn't quite bring myself to have my book run through an AI voice or something like that. And then recording it seemed to be quite the challenge. So I shelved it. Now I'm getting there again. So I've revised the book. I'm through chapter 10. And then what the plan is to read a chapter a week that will be delivered for free. The only thing that I'm asking in exchange is your email address. So you'll be put on a list where you'll be notified when the recording is ready. We're not just, posting it online. So yes, then you'll have special access to this recording so that by the end of, I think it's 3 months, there will be a complete audiobook. So I've been trying to do this for 5 years, and now it's going to be done in about 3 months. So that's the plan. And then I'm going to have a really great revised foundation so that I can do my next book. So the next book is called Access Your Ultimate Health, the Blueprint to Youthful Vitality. So we're going to be applying the infinity system to all of our physiology and how to create youthful vibrance for as long as possible, and how to reverse your biological age, which I already have. So I just took a blood test 2 months ago, almost 3 months ago. I'm about to do it again, just because I'm curious if all the things they suggested have helped. My biological age, 57. And so I'd like to bring that down to 54. My ultimate goal, 49. and so this is for someone whose biological age is 70. So that's my goal. I hope to be an inspiration to people on how to do this naturally, without surgery, without Botox, without fillers, without peptides. There's a natural way, which is one of the things I'm working with, is how to increase your peptides without having to do all these injections. Now, I believe that all of these people are going to find down the road that they were not all they were, all the synthetic ones were not all they were hyped up to be. And so a lot of people are still operating on that program, the aging program, like, oh, when you get older, XYZ diminishes, your peptides, your telomeres, your hair, your all kinds of things, right? So that all is just supposed to diminish with age. And I don't believe that. I believe those are all programs. So I am doing it naturally, energetically, calibrating every body system, every body organ. And that's what the next book is going to be all about. How do we do this naturally? And so that youthful vibrance is just emanating from the inside out. So that's my inspiration. All right, let's see what we got tonight. Okay, Hello again. So glad to be here. It's 2 a.m. in Switzerland. Well, I'm so glad to see you here. 1V, 3 I's, V78. So your first name would be great. Central Valley, good to see you here. Hawaii, Oahu, and two of you from Oahu. I'm sure if you answer questions again, pretty lady, if so, could you scan? Okay, scan you. Put your. I'll scan you, but it'd be nicer if you could put your name in. But I'll scan you anyway, and then you tell me how accurate I am. All right, so you're grounded. That's a good thing. So you're grounded. You've got some good earth energy coming up through your legs. There's no worry circle. Even the heart is grounded. 100% open. No, it's grounded, but it's only 15% open. It is coming out that right arm, but blocked in the left hand. There's about curses. There's about 20 curses in that left hand. And let's see what else. You have infinite rings. Central orbit is good. Yeah, your energy is doing pretty well. There's a few places where it could be fine-tuned. So any of you that I mentioned that you have a block somewhere, because I'm not doing clearings here, but I'm happy to tell you where the blocks are, to get the free meditation so that you can use that 20-minute process to start clearing these energies. So I'm telling you where there's blocks. Sometimes I'm even telling you what to remove when you get there. And so that's how you can help yourself here. For those of you who are do-it-yourselfers. Okay. North Carolina, great to have you here. And let's see. Creative into, good to have you. Ryan, I think it is, right? From MS, that could be, is that Mississippi? Jules, great. Okay, the last time you told me I had a lot of fury. Has that a bit reduced? Well, anger is 15, rage 15, and fury is 15. That's a program. So you can clear that by clearing black boxes in your root chakra, about 50 of those black boxes. If you clear that, that will help that fury to diminish. Thank you. Oh, that's Mimi. Okay, great. Thank you, Mimi. One question time. Okay, I would like to know how my heart is open 1 week and closed the next. Am I doing something? Well, yeah, if you're not paying attention, the heart can get closed quite easily. The heart can be a little fragile. Most people have a lot of energy that they're clearing from their heart chakra. They've grown up with a lifetime of judgments and feeling not enough and being compared and all kinds of things. So in today, Marianne, you are grounded and your heart is grounded and your heart is 100% open. Great. However, so this is the third part of this heart piece that I was talking about earlier. The flow coming out of the heart is not very much. It's only about 3%. There are black boxes in your root chakra, about 20. So that's what needs to be cleared for that one specific thing. All right, there you go. Gigi, is my energy field clear or is it keeping me from attracting people or things? Well, the energy field clear, that is a very, very broad stroke. But I'll let you know. So first of all, for starters, not grounded. So that's the most important part. So when you're not grounded, then basically everything is off. Everything kind of backs up. So in that sense, no, your energy field is not clear. And is it keeping you from attracting people? There's a few ways that people can energetically push other people away. So one is if they hold a lot of shame in their field for various reasons that they could be completely unconscious to. Shame is kind of a hiding energy. And so when you have a lot of shame, people don't see you because you don't want to be seen. And you're not attracting people. It's kind of a repelling energy, like don't see me. I haven't checked, but let's check if that's the case with you. If you do have shame, it's about 50%. And another thing that can keep people away is a closed heart. So let's check your heart. So you're grounded, but heart is not grounded, and it's only about 15% open. So you have a bunch of black boxes at your root chakra. So those are the beliefs, the programs that tell you that it's not safe to step into your power. And so if you're not feeling safe or confident to step into your power, then that can be a repelling energy because you don't feel confident. And then when you're not feeling confident, then other people around you don't, it makes them feel uneasy as well. So I would say those are more of the reasons why you're not attracting people or things, because we are generally we attract 24/7, but we may not like what we're attracting. Like maybe we're attracting a bunch of perverts, or attracting angry people, or people who are just rude, and so that's giving us an opportunity to look at our field. Like we attract what we're emitting. So if we're attracting any energies we don't like, instead of blaming them or trying to control what's out here, we always look inside and say, what is attracting that? And that's way more effective. All right. Thanks for asking, Gigi. Can I get a scan? Hang on. Can I get a scan when you have a chance? Okay, Sophia, welcome, Sophia. So you've lost your grounding cord, my dear. There are about 50 black boxes at your root chakra. So those are programs that want to keep you feeling unstable and in a little bit of chaos. Let's see. So not grounded. Heart also not grounded. There's about 50 at the crown, 50 black boxes at the crown, and that's creating this the heart not being able to be grounded. You have an infinite number of rings, so there's infinite possibilities when you get yourself grounded that those can start becoming more manifest. And because you're so fast and capable, so now you're grounded, good earth, no worry circle, heart's grounded, 100% open and flowing because you're fast. All right. Great job, Sophia. All right. So generally we're not doing rechecks, but she was clearing as I was looking. So I couldn't help but let her know what was going on. She's a client or has been in the past. So yes, it is exciting about the book. Finally, right? Finally, we're going to get this show on the road. All right, Jules. My tummy feels like it isn't digesting my food. Seems I eat smaller meals. Is it me or some other people's issues? Well, it's funny that for next week, I wanted to talk about how some of us are starting to create a new relationship with food. But I won't address that tonight, but I will look at a few other things because I do believe that the way we're relating to food is changing. And we don't have the same interest in food that we used to. But your stomach is at 100%. You are grounded. There is a cord, however, right in your solar plexus. There's 20, but that's not AI. That's a female, angry. And so that is this angry woman. Maybe it's your mom. It's not your mom. And at any rate, she's trying to control what you're doing with some anger. And so that is going to affect all of your organs right there, all of your digestive organs, especially your stomach. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving my energetic input about anything physical or any conditions that you guys might be having. So let's see what else. So the other part of digesting your food, let's check a few other of the organs. So like the pancreas, you need to help digest carbohydrates and your blood sugars, etc., keeping that balanced. Pancreas is only at 15%. And then let's see, liver and gallbladder. Well, mostly the gallbladder is more about digestion. That's at 100%. So the pancreas, in your root, there's about 50 of those programs, black boxes, in your root chakra. And this is what's programming how your pancreas should be ineffective. And so that's probably the biggest issue, because your stomach was at 100%, 100, yeah. The other place is not a place of digestion, but it is a place of assimilation, your small intestines. That's also only operating at 15%. So if you were to clear more of those black boxes, programs in your sixth chakra, so that's going to affect how you see the world. Maybe you're having a hard time digesting what you see going on in the world. Yeah. Stop watching the news. If any of you guys are still watching the news or want to know what's going on with the war, that's just like enough. Enough of that distraction. That's all it is just a big old distraction. The planet will never be nuked. There's too many good forces that would never let that happen, because it would not just affect the planet, it would affect our universe, our galaxy. There's so many things that ripple would affect too many things. So there's too many good guys that will not let that happen, that are guarding the earth. All right, let's see what else we have. So it's interesting you're asking about, is it other people's issues, because that person is courting to you. So in that sense, it's their anger courting into you. So take her out, send her back. Never cut cords. It leaves residual energy. Okay. Great. Let's see, Brooke, I have aluminum from a hair test, and I also have mold in my system. Yeah, I think I looked at mold before. I took some activated charcoal and bentonite clay to detox. Have those toxins went down? Want to know where my hirsutism from. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a misspelling, but I don't know what the translation is. But as far as mold and aluminum, I'm getting aluminum is about 50%. So is that 50% of normal, 50% of whatever the range is? Like if 100% would be like crazy, like you're at 50%. And then the mold is down to 15%. So I don't think bentonite or activated charcoal is going to be effective for the aluminum. I would look into that further. There's a lot of talk about doing a metal detox, and how sometimes unless you do the binders, I guess there's other binders besides the ones you mentioned, so that they actually leave the body, is really important. Otherwise, it recirculates back into other places. All right. Kelly Sims. Okay, Kelly, could you scan me? Yes, we could. You're grounded. You've got good earth. There's no worry circle. Heart is grounded, 100% open, but not flowing. The flow from the heart is only 3%. So there's probably a little fear about bringing all that love out into the world. There are, let's see, black boxes or programs in your root chakra, about 50. So that is what is creating the constriction of the heart so that the heart's not feeling safe to just flow, bringing all of that love out into the world. So there's that. Mm-mm-mm. And because you're so capable, it is now clear. You just needed to know what was off. So that's clear. You have infinite rings. Central orbit is good. Aura is clear. So that's a great foundation to operate on a day-to-day basis. Now, when people start having other issues, other problems, other things, we're going to be talking about relationships over the next couple months because the May 12-day program is all about relationships. So when we start asking specific questions, then we start seeing all different kinds of blocks or new blocks, new interference, new programs that are interfering. But great foundation. Thanks for asking and great to have you here. Hello, Althea from Arkansas. I have a question about my past. Ooh, my past. Uh-oh. You said you lived in a cult. I did. Not in a cult. I was born and raised in a religious cult. Yes, I'm happy to share all about it. So the cult is that of Jehovah's Witnesses. I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. My mother became one when I was a baby. I spent my entire life being molded by this programming. And so when I was about 38 and suicidal, because I didn't think there were any doors out of this place, even though, it's not a compound that you go and live in. This is just the beliefs that you hold. And you're expected to go to these meetings every week, knock on doors on the weekend, no friends outside of the group. And when you read my book, there's a kind of some funny things around birthdays, because birthdays were not allowed, no holidays, no celebration of life. And all of that was really preparing me for what I'm doing now. Because when I left this cult, when I decided I wasn't going to kill myself, when I left that cult, I wanted to know what was the truth. This group claimed to be the truth, literally the truth. And so I had to question everything I was ever taught to believe. Is it true? Is it not true? And then how was I even going to decide that? So that's how the Hawkins scale was introduced to me, which is a scale of human consciousness, but it only goes to 100. 1,000. Only goes to 1,000. And however, this was how I learned to calibrate what was true and what was not true. And so, growing up in a religion like that, where everything you've been taught to believe is programmed through their filters, it doesn't make every single thing bad. Now, that's one thing I learned, is that there's some things that were good, being forgiving and being loving and helpful and, a lot of good things. But there was far more things that were not good that I've had to work through over the years to deprogram. And I've found that people have very similar, so having gone through everything I did, it's very easy for me to spot the global cult that everybody is in. And so you know what I'm talking about. And so it's really easy to see the ways they do mind control. And I knew immediately during the COVID thing, immediately that was not a good thing. And I never bought into it because I could calibrate and tell what's true now. So having grown up in that cult was a great blessing. Now I can see it as a blessing because now I'm an expert at being able to determine what's true, what's not true. I have this incredible innate abilities that are far beyond most people. I'm at the front of the wave. I operate in well, as high as 15D. I come from 500 years in the future, like lots of crazy stuff like that. I never knew that as a Jehovah's Witness. And so a lot of you have come from the future. A lot of you know that it's all going to turn out just fine. And we are, one thing I discovered today is, what was it that's in the 15th dimension? Because I know that everything is going to work out just fine. And hmm, darn, I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, if I think of it, I'll let you know. But anyway, having grown up in this cult was is I can see it as a blessing now, because so many people have lived parallel lives to what I've experienced. Maybe the story has been different, but the same programs of control, mind control, manipulation, operating through fear, guilt, and shame. Those are the signs of a cult, in my opinion. And so we've been given these challenges this lifetime so that we can step into our power. I see that now, that was the whole point of that, growing up like that, was so I could really, what does it mean to really step into my power? Well, you got to first leave this group. You have to leave your toxic marriage. And so there was just a lot of things. I think that answers your question. Okay, good. 3%, Marianne. So that, what is that? What was that? The heart? I think that was your heart. Open. Yeah, 3%. Yeah, because it doesn't feel safe. Thank you. Saying I look amazing and I'm an inspiration. Good. I'm gonna market that. Okay, Brittany, nice to have you here, or Brit. New here and love your content. I'd be most grateful for a scan. Okay, Britt, welcome. Welcome to being here for the first time. You are grounded. Great job. You have good earth energy coming up through your legs. You have no worry circle. Your heart is not grounded and it's only 15% open. There are those black boxes I've been talking about, which are programs in your sixth chakra that are causing you to feel like it's not safe to open your heart, because it's a vulnerable thing. You know, some people take advantage of open hearts and ready to put a dagger in there and looking for people who are vulnerable. So, and probably a lot of things in your life that maybe made it not feel safe to open. Anyway, those black boxes is one thing. 6. And then also in your root chakra, there's some curses, about 20. Those are AI, ancient interference curses. So that would also be good to clear so that your heart can flow freely. All that unconditional self-generated love that comes out that right arm out into the world, and then you feed yourself into that left hand, fill yourself up, nourish yourself. That's how the heart works. Okay, great. Welcome, Brittany. Gregorio, my friend, how are you? I am on my healing tour. Great. This is my healer friend. And my right ankle is super painful. Well, let me tell you what the ankles are about, Gregory. I'm so happy healing. What happened? You're not having enough fun. So you were just on a whirlwind of getting ready to travel, and then long drive. And the earth energy is stopped at the bottoms of your feet. So there's some curses at the bottoms of your feet, about 100. The right ankle, is that what you said? It was the right ankle more? Yeah, the right ankle. So yeah, so the right ankle is completely stopped and the other side is open now. So those curses, and yeah, from that lady that you were trying to help, and then yeah. So anyway, take her curses out of your feet. She wanted to anchor you. Don't go. So, yeah, so, and then you can start having more fun. Okay, good. So now it's coming up through your legs. Yeah, that should help with swelling and so forth. Do those ankle rotations. Those are really good too. All right, there you go. You're welcome. Okay, so the Brooke is explaining this word is excessive hair on my face, like dark, thick hair. Okay. Um, hmm. Well, I'm getting okay. So I'm just checking. Whatever comes up, I'm just a messenger. Okay, so curses 50, 100, 500, that's a lot, 500 curses, right in your sixth chakra. So it's creating some beliefs that make you feel afraid. And so having a condition like that, you know, your face is the first thing that people see. And so this also creates a certain level of shame, or it's revealing a certain level of shame that you already had. And then this is creating evidence of the shame so that then you will go into hiding, or you like, maybe you don't want to be seen. So the shame is quite high, and there's a lot of curses. Um, and then there's black boxes, or there's programs, about 500, so that's a lot, in your heart. So this is also causing you to judge yourself. So not your judgments, not your curses. You know, this is all outside infiltration, or if you want to say that underlying architecture, either way, not your beliefs, not your thoughts. And let's see, spells, curses, chords, black boxes. Yeah, so if you were to keep your field clear, so let me just measure this word, like what percentage of do you have that now? Maybe you've cleared all these 500 boxes and curses. Let's measure where it is now. It's at 50%. So that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you go to your root chakra and clear more of these programs, another 100, create a lot of fury around this. And see, I'm curious. This is a new phenomenon for me, so I'm always curious about new things. So now, okay, you've brought it down to 15%. Go back up to your sixth chakra, second layer, and clear more fear. Like, what if it gets worse, or what if it never goes away, and what if, yeah, all the what ifs. More curses, 100 in the sixth chakra, so that's going to affect how you think. And then, so now it's down to 3%. Okay, there's a little bit more right in the heart. Second layer, so more of that fear. Like, what if people reject me because of this, or what if I'm not accepted? Because what if I'm become unlovable because of this? Those are the fears that are affecting how you feel about yourself in your heart. So clear that, and then, okay, so now, and I don't know how to say the word, I wish I knew, but I'm not even going to try. But anyway, the word is now at 0. So the way this infinity system works is that if you keep that number for that condition at 0, your body's going to catch up. Your body's going to catch up to that, or it might reveal other things that are contributing to this, and so forth. So that, I believe, is possible to reverse. That's my belief. So, not trying to give you false hope or anything. That's just what I believe. All right. Thanks for asking, Brooke. Let's see. Okay, we've got just a few minutes left. So could you elaborate on Elizabeth April vibes at Infinity video she has out, but you didn't agree with a way of something she mentioned? Yeah, so in my newsletter, I said I didn't agree with, it was supposed to be reverse, it said reverse again, reverse aging is what it should have said. So at the beginning of her video, she talked about reverse aging. Well, if you listen to the video, you'll see that the reverse aging had to do with the reptilians and the blood that they drink and the people that they eat. So that's how they stay young. So that's what I was saying. I don't endorse that as a way to reverse aging. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, amusement. Amusement is the best tool, by the way. Um, okay. What's the best way, Kelly, to get rid of unhealthy and or limiting programs and reprogram themselves? The infinity system. That's how you get rid of everything that you're not aligned with, that is a low vibration. All these black boxes are just programs, beliefs. And so we've uncovered this, just it's like, it kind of reminds me of when archaeologists are digging, or the gold miners, and they find a vein of gold. And so that's what it feels like now. We've reached this vein, this layer of all these black boxes that are just programs. And so as spirit is revealing to me the next level of things that are being cleared through the system, that uh, it's just showing what the collective is ready for. And so this is where the collective is. For those who are more on the ascension path, a little more conscious, there's people who are way behind that are, you know, but those of us who are here and on this ascension path are certainly more open to these possibilities and to what's shifting and changing. So we're clearing massive amounts of programs, thoughts, beliefs that are not ours. And so if you've never been, for those of you who might be kind of new here, if you've never been to or participated in the monthly luminary activation, we do that on the first Thursday of every month. So the next one is April 2nd, coming up next Thursday. We'll be talking about, because spirit is bringing us on this trajectory. We've used spring to help launch programs and with our money frequency, and now it's starting to direct us more towards, well, how do we interrelate and connect with people now? Spring is coming, or yes, no, we just had spring. Anyway. So this next trajectory, this next luminary activation is all about how do we stay in our power while relating to other people, because it's real easy to get people cord to us, or we feel competition energy, or we shrink because we have whatever beliefs about what we think they are, or whatever, all the things about how challenging it is to relate to other people. We get triggered, and then we want to run away because we think it's they made us feel that way, when really they just stirred something up that already lives in us. Anyway, there's lots of things around relating to other people. So that's what we're going to be clearing in this next luminary activation. Let's see, okay, hang on. I'll tell you what it's called. It's called the Sovereign Field Activation. So if you go to this QR code in the YouTube corner here, it will take you to the 20-minute meditation and the luminary activation. But you can also go to my website, KimberlySherry.com, and you'll find the luminary activation there. So join us. It's $49 is the entrance fee. And what you will get as a result is we're going to go through the entire process outlined in this book. We're going to run your energy, and we're going to clear everything that's interfering with your being able to relate effectively to other people. Get you grounded, get your heart open, flowing, all kinds of really good things. So If you're new and you want to know how to get rid of these limiting programs, come join us and experience it for yourself. All right, Justine in New Zealand, I have been experiencing being bombarded constantly by blobs of energy. Blobs seemingly stick and cause what feels like movements around me or heaviness. Okay, so you are grounded. You've got good earth, no worry circle, heart's grounded. So you're really high vibrational, advanced being that operates in let's see, 12D. So advanced and have a greater awareness of what's going on around you. You do have a lot of those programs, or I've been calling them black boxes. You have about 50 at your root chakra. There is also aura is clear. Okay, here's what will help you. You're not connected to your oversoul. So connect to the oversoul far above your head, at the top of your rings. And when I say top, I'm saying the 100th ring. Around there, clear more of those programs, about 100. So those 100 black boxes, programs, whatever you want to call them, are blocking your oversoul from being able to come down into your field. And so you're okay, good. You're fast. So you've brought it all the way down. It's stopping at your heart. And so allow that white plasma oversoul to clear any place that feels like you're being victimized. Yeah, it's clearing a lot of that. There's like 100% victim energy. So you're feeling a little victimized by these energies. So let your oversoul clear that energy in the heart. And that should really help. So now the oversoul is anchored. So that should really help you, Joel. Or just what if JUS? Okay. Justine, yes, okay. Thanks for joining us, Justine. I hope that helps. Okay, I was just looking into your luminary action. Okay, good, great. Yes, we'd love to have you. Just I'll take a quick peek over here at Instagram. We have a couple people. Okay, one Lady Karen. Okay, wants to have a scan. She's the only one who mentioned. I think you have to like or subscribe before you can actually comment on Instagram. But yes, Lady Karen, not grounded. That you have 100 of those programs or black boxes at your root chakra. That's what's interfering with your ability to get grounded. Heart also not grounded and only 3% open. There's more black boxes. There's at the root. So those black boxes at the root are going to affect a lot of things. And so that's the most important part. And then muscle test when you're done to see if you actually got grounded. So that's really, really important. Okay, cool. Well, this was a fun night tonight. And thank you all for joining us tonight. And we will be back next week to talk about more things and entertain your questions. And what else? I think just keep cheering me on with my book that I can get this finished. I can start recording so you can get an audio version. And we'll see you next week. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Namaste.